hair-raising stories, and the scariest book in America. Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel, My Writing Journey. I'm Ellen Byerrum, author of 14 mysteries, including my psychological thriller, The Woman in the Dollhouse. I have also written short stories, children's tales, and plays, and always produced work while holding a full-time job. I was a reporter in Washington, D.C., where I covered, among other things, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. In these videos, I discuss various aspects of writing and how they make us feel, how they ennoble us, and how they make us stronger. If that sounds interesting to you, please like and feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make Mr. Algorithm happy. Today, I'm writing and talking about horror stories. I don't need to tell you that these are frightening times in America, like Margaret Atwood. Sometimes it feels like we're walking into the invasion of the body snatchers, a B movie that still has the power to chill us to the bone. As writers, we can battle back our fears with hair-raising tales of our own, tales that ponder what if the evils of today's world surface and confront us. Creating fiction helps us meet the potential monsters in our paths. Margaret Atwood does that in The Handmaid's Tale. But this book upset me so much I couldn't continue it. However, I did flip to the end. I know, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Today, I am thinking about my own psychological thriller and horror book, and also the most horrifying book in America, which I will get to in a minute. Many writers of mystery eventually try their hands at writing something deeper and more challenging, something that will tingle your spine, a thriller or a horror story, and we all tip our hat to Stephen King. I don't know why we need to do this, maybe for the challenge, maybe because we have a story that just won't give up. Maybe it's fear, and writing lets us prepare for the unknown future on the horizon. There are certain tropes in frightening fiction. There is fear of the unknown, fear of the other, and what they might do to us. It is said that a mystery is about solving a crime that has happened, and a thriller generally starts with one horrific crime or incident, but it is about the race to prevent a worse crime, another murder or event from occurring again. In my psychological thriller, The Woman in the Dollhouse, even though I knew where the story was heading, there were moments where I scared myself. When Tennyson, my protagonist, believes she has escaped the villain, he winds up on the other side of her locked door. Frankly, I had to stop writing until daylight returned. I can't believe it. It's fiction. My story begins with a woman who doesn't know who she is or where she is. The first page starts. In my memories, my eyes are always green. As green as the dark and dangerous sea, my grandfather used to say. Mermaid's eyes, he called them. Eyes that change from the color of seaweed to sea glass, to the green of troubled water. Yet I was never troubled when my eyes were green. If you want a brief summary of the story, here it is. Following a devastating accident, a young woman finds herself in a memory research facility near Washington, D.C. Her eyes are brown, not green as she remembers. She struggles to recall her past and her identity. The crash, the recent years of her life, it's mostly blank. She begins to remember being not one, but two very different women. Which one is real? Is she Tennyson or Marissa, or neither one? If she can't trust her mind, her doctor, or her own eyes, who can she trust? To save her sanity, she begins writing a secret journal between the lines of a forgotten copy of Homer's Odyssey. To save her life, she begins her own harrowing odyssey into the secrets of her past and present. My tale is set in and around Washington, D.C. and Middleburg, Virginia, with a nod to the area's political milieu. Her grandfather, Senator Claxton, whom she doesn't remember, believes things are out of whack in Washington, and he has formed the C&B Corporation, which stands for checks and balances. But Tennyson is off balance. Dollhouse is a chilling and satisfying read, if I do say so. It features a woman who must take her destiny into her own hands and try to succeed. Checked and balanced, you might say. And now let's turn to the scariest book in America. Whether they call it Project 2025 or Agenda 47 or some new misleading name, it is a 900-plus page Heritage Foundation wet dream for right-wing reactionaries. Project 2025 is wrapped in the American flag and snoozes you with its pedestrian prose. Among its first priorities is restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children. It sounds deceptively comforting. You know that means the traditional family. But we as a people create our own families, non-traditional families, but families nonetheless. We expand them to adopt others, and they adopt us. We learn to love our families, all our families, and the others who Project 2025 fears. This horror story, Project 2025, wants to lull us by its sheer mass as it explores a multitude of ways to restrict the rights of Americans. It is a woolly mammoth of a document emerging from the frozen tundra of their collective brains. They have been at this for a long time, decades, like moles in a science fiction novel, and emerging in the guise of a friendly puppet master. Think of Boris Karloff. Mwahaha. Why is Project 2025 so horrifying? This plan would have far-reaching consequences for the country, restricting or abolishing rights, and it sticks its slimy fingers into every aspect of American life. It does not respect privacy. Among other things, it wants to control and monitor women. It wants to ban abortion everywhere, even when medically necessary, and monitor fertility rates in workplaces. It would allow employers to deny insurance coverage for contraception. Intrusive much? Let me recommend that you read it like a horror novel that you can learn from, if you're a writer. It has many of the horror tropes. Fear of the other. It is deeply afraid of the other. Women and immigrants and you and me. It has monsters, lies, and hatred. This book has a ghost. The ghost of Ronald Reagan. This book features the character of a would-be dictator. Heritage has clearly aligned itself with an old, bloated, convicted felon with 34 felonies, a man found guilty of sexual assault, a habitual liar who cannot tell the truth or perhaps even recognize it, a man who paid off a porn star. This is at the same time, it wants to do away with all pornography. It aligns itself with a man who ran a fraudulent charity and a fraudulent university, a malignant narcissist, and a man who was BFFs with notorious and now dead pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, a man whose mind is failing, a man straight out of the book of Revelation. Project 2025 believes he's a useful idiot, and they can control him. They cannot. The plan contains unintended consequences that they don't yet understand. It will also promote death on the job, resulting from deregulating labor laws and crippling labor unions, which I'll delve into next time because I have more ideas. The most horrifying thing of all is that Project 2025 is not fiction. It could bring on the most frightening future we have ever faced in this country. It can happen here. If you don't have enough ideas for your own horror novel, your own tale of dread, take a look at Project 2025. It has a multitude of them. You can find this lesson in writing horror at project2025.org. Let's keep it fiction. If you would like to read my thriller, The Woman in the Dollhouse, I will leave a link in the description. And I'll see you next time. Bye.